My VP ran review sessions at 7, 8, 9 at night, every night for months. Within a few weeks, entire proposal teams were pulling 12 and 16-hour days. Not because he told them to, but because they had watched him do it first. I used to think hard work was something you did quietly on your own time and let the results speak for themselves. I was wrong. If nobody can see the work, it doesn't teach anyone anything. It's just effort that happens to exist. I learned the expensive version of that lesson years earlier when I was the one trying to lead by example, and it did not work. I was a manager and later a director. I wanted to give my direct reports as much freedom as possible to hit an objective. However, they got there. I never said that directly. I assumed they would absorb it by watching me. So I bottled it quietly. I ran weekly sessions reminding people of upcoming milestones, warned them about the problems that tend to surface at each stage of a project, and worked whatever hours the deadline actually required, including a lot of weekends. Some of my direct reports thrived under that freedom. Others did not. The ones who struggled had a pattern. They would show up, try something, watch it fail, and shrug it off. I thought this was going to work, but it didn't. I'll try harder next week. They would go out, smoke a cigarette, and then go home after 8 hours. I couldn't order them to work harder. Telling someone to put in more hours when they don't have the initiative to fill those hours with real effort just produces more empty hours, not better results. The actual question was never about hours. It was how to get someone to want to push harder without being told to. I never solved it as a manager. What I hadn't understood yet is exactly what this year finally showed me. The first half of this year was a sprint. Proposal after proposal, several running at once. My VP was buried in external coordination, negotiating with partner companies, developing terms, managing relationships across every project at the same time. He didn't have hours left to review work quietly on his own schedule. So he set up review sessions at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., gave each proposal team the equivalent of homework every day, and reviewed it with them in person the following night. He lived it, and everyone could see him living it. Within weeks, every proposal team was working 12 and 16-hour days. Some people were aggravated. Some weren't especially motivated by it, even then. But the proposals that came out of it were genuinely strong, and the pace didn't let up. My VP had, as far as I could tell, no days off for months. It also taught me something separate about capacity. Most people, myself included, can produce 5 to 10 times what they assume they're capable of. What looks like a reasonable workload is usually a small fraction of what's actually possible once the standard in the room demands it. Here's the part that actually reframed how I think about leadership. Kim Scott writes about exactly this distinction in Radical Candor. The important thing to do is to stay in touch with your personal values and to demonstrate them in how you manage your team, not by writing things down like hard work, honesty, and innovation on a piece of paper. Live your values. My weekends, all those years ago, were the pieces of paper. Real, but unread. My VP's 9 p.m. review sessions were the value, lived in a room where people could actually see it happen. I have moved into an individual contributor role since then, so I don't have the authority to set the standard for an organization the way my VP does, or the way I once tried to. I'm a coordinator on projects now, not the manager of an org. But ownership doesn't require a title. Where I do own something, a task, a proposal, a piece of a project, I try to apply the same lesson at whatever scale I actually control. Make the standard visible, not just real. When I lead an org of my own again, I already know what I'll do differently. I won't just work the weekend. I'll make sure the people I'm asking to grow can actually see it happen.